Hello and welcome back to Edible Abundance Homestead. Today I am out in my garden and I am debating how to capture the progress of my garden. So right now, honestly, everything could be planted. All of my starts could be planted. Some of them are still a little small, so I'll hold off, but weather-wise, it's go time. Unfortunately, I can't just go out and plant everything and spend a day planting because I have 3 small children. So my planting happens in 5, 10, 30-minute increments, maybe an hour while the toddler naps, like he is right now. And obviously right now I should be planting. But anyway, I can't document all these teeny little planting opportunities that I have. So yesterday I planted squash, summer squash and zucchini and nasturtiums, and I'll show you those guys. And then yesterday early evening we had torrential rain, really strong winds. It was crazy. There was a big thunderstorm passed through the area. And I was sitting in my house thinking, oh no, what's happening to my poor little baby plants out there? The tomatoes had only been in the ground for a couple of days. I had just planted the zucchini. So we'll take a look at how they fared. And I'm thinking maybe a garden tour essentially every couple of days, or anytime I get a decent amount planted, which sometimes might be more than a couple days at a time. It's right now just trying to get everything in the ground, trying to spend 20 minutes weeding whenever I can, because not only are my plants growing like crazy, the weeds are growing like crazy too. So let's take a quick look around. And like I said, I'm still kind of debating how to capture the progress of the garden. So yesterday I planted out these nasturtiums right here, and I realized that I wasn't sure if I had a dwarf variety or not, and I didn't know how much support they needed. So I figured since I got them to help pest management around the cucumbers, they're supposed to be helpful with squash bugs and cucumber beetles, in addition to being edible, I figured I might as well plant them on the trellis that has cucumbers on it. So I've got 1, 2, 3 on each side of this trellis. And then after I finished them and was very proud of myself, I went up to where the rest of my plants were and found that I actually had 3 more. And in one of those pots there were 2. So I put 1 on either side of this next trellis, 1 on each. There's 1 right there, and then 1 right there, and then the same on the other side. So I have 10 nasturtiums out here. I planted zucchinis and a yellow squash. This one looked kind of sad to begin with, and so I'm not surprised that the weather made it look a little sadder. It's still alive. We'll see if it perks up. This one's looking pretty good. And then I've got these 2 back here. That one was small to begin with, and that one's looking pretty good. Oh, I also slipped some radish seeds in here because I heard they're a good trap crop for some of these squash pests. So basically, anytime I find a spot that I can slip radish seeds in, I'm doing that. And I might, depending on kind of how the summer garden starts looking, some of the radishes I might leave to go to seed in the hopes of it helping with some of the bugs. Otherwise, we'll just pick them and eat them. They're delicious. I made pickled radishes the other day. I'm super excited about that. And I have a couple different pickled radish recipes that I want to try. They're just refrigerator pickles. I pulled out, and in order to plant that squash, so like I said, this garden area I didn't really have the greatest plan for. So I pulled out some of that spinach to make room for that squash. This spinach has been here for over 6 months because it overwintered. So I've been pulling it out, steaming it for just a couple minutes, and freezing it in portions that will work for making smoothies. Or I could even pull a couple of them out and saute it or add it to soups or, you know, whatever. And then I have this spinach that I just planted this spring that's starting to make a pretty big jump in size. So we have a decent amount of spinach. So I'm trying to, this year, I am trying to sacrifice plants to maximize production. So last year I left my spinach out until it had bolted and was barely edible because I felt bad. I was still harvesting it. I didn't want to pull it out. This year I'm trying to pull out things that are not going to be, that are losing productivity, to replace them with things that will be getting more productive. So we're trying that for this year. I'm going to try to focus on that more. I have 2 more zucchini that I planted, and yes, I planted way more zucchini than we can ever eat. So I have never used this plastic black mulch before. A friend put me in contact with a man who had been a market gardener selling to local restaurants, and he was retiring. And so I got a bunch of gardening supplies from him, either for free or really great prices. I got a ton of these U-posts that are supporting all of our fences. I got some of this black plastic mulch. I got some Agribon that I'm looking forward to trying in this fall and winter to see if I can do some more winter gardening. But anyway, never used it before. I'm giving it a try. I'm having a real hard time finding straw. As you can see, this is mulch with straw, the rest of it. I'm having really hard time finding straw that is a reasonable price for the amount that I need for this garden. That I can also go get, that's not too far away, and that I can transport in my minivan, because I don't have a truck. I can't get a round bale. I have to get small amounts, and I have to go back and forth to bring them home. So anyway, we're going to try this black plastic. I have a whole roll of it. I figure if it doesn't work well, they're zucchini plants, and losing them is not the end of the world. Especially since I ended up with 6. I planted 2, and those 2 did not sprout. So I planted a few more, and then all of a sudden, all of them sprouted. Some of them had been sitting for weeks, and then they sprouted. Some of them had just been planted a few days ago, and they sprouted. So, tons of zucchini this year. We'll see what happens. So in the storm, my tomatoes survived surprisingly well. I was really worried that the wind and the hard rain was going to knock down my tomato plants. And there's a few that are looking a little sad. But for the most part, I mean, that's perfect. That's not damaged at all. I seem to have something eating the leaves off my plants. And I do not know what it is. I have never had a problem with tomato hornworms before. And I see things like, see how that is off to the side of the plant? To me, that doesn't seem like bug damage. That seems like animal damage. I have seen a ton of rabbits around here. I saw 4 rabbits following each other, like into the woods the other day. I don't know if rabbits will eat tomato leaves. This is the one in the worst shape. As you can see, all the leaves are gone. Now, I have backups for all of these plants, and they are fine in their pots until I figure out what's going on and figure out a way to put a stop to it. But, oh my, this one down here looks bad too. So last night, oh no, both of these are in bad shape. Yep, look, that one and that one down there. I have some work I need to do to figure this out. But anyway, I got the fence, the electric fence up tight, and the electricity is turned on, so it shouldn't be an animal getting in here, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it for today. Things are going well. I mean, obviously I've got a big problem with something eating my tomato plants, but I will have to do some research and try to figure that out. So thank you for watching. I'm going to go grab a few more plants and see what else I can get done out here. So, as I was saying the other day, if you need a little more excitement in your life, barnyard animals are the way to go. So I was just coming out here to bring some scraps to my big chickens, refill the feed to my babies, and I step into the coop, and I'm not paying any attention, and someone's making noise, and I'm like, where's this chicken that's making noise? And I realize she has flipped one of my milk crate nest boxes over on top of herself and is trapped. How she did this, I have absolutely no idea. But I'll go ahead and set her free because I don't know how long she's even been under there. There you go, honey. What happened, huh? Did you lay me an egg in that box? This is a fake egg. This is a fake egg. I put X's on them so I didn't try to collect fake eggs. All right, well, I don't know what happened there, but excitement in the chicken coop. So here's my babies. They're getting huge. It got pretty warm here the other day, and I was really worried about how these Cornish cross were laying down panting everywhere, and actually it is warm enough now to turn off this heat lamp. I need to take a look at when I got them and figure out how much longer it is before they can just stay outside. They're not fully feathered. I mean, look at how much fuzz they have still, but it was not over 90 degrees in here, and they were panting and miserable. So the main problem is when they get moved outside, they need to go into the mobile coop with the little mobile run area next to it, which is where I currently have my teenagers and my hen whose head keeps getting picked at. So I think I'll probably put my teenagers back in here with the big chickens and maybe try letting that hen stay with these little guys. I'm not sure. They need to be a bit bigger first either way. And I'll have to watch how she is with them. She was in here with the last batch of meat chickens when they were relatively small, and she didn't bother them, but they were quite a bit bigger than this. So we'll have to kind of see how it goes. But these guys are getting stinky in here. I was hoping to not have to put down another layer of the bedding, but it's getting kind of gross in there. And as you can see, they kick it into their food, they kick it into their water. That water is actually set up on a board to help prevent that, and they managed to kick it all in anyway. So yes, if you're bored, I highly recommend getting some chickens. They definitely add to the excitement. One other thing while we're in here, after the hidden nest, they're all now back to laying where they belong. Everyone is laying in this nest now. No one is laying in those milk crates, which is why I was surprised to find her trapped under one. I don't know what she was doing in it or on it. But anyway, I'm just glad I'm not having to crawl around to get my eggs or search for my eggs. So I think that's hopefully all from the chicken yard for today. I think that's enough chicken excitement for one day.